Hello, for today's lesson you're going to need a yellow and a red crayon and a pencil. Start by writing your name up top, and I'll read you the essential question for today. How can you use two sets of objects to show 5 in more than one way? So we're going to work on showing 5 in more than one way today. First, take your your red crayon, and I'm going to read this part to you down here. It says Jessica has 5 marbles in her bag. We can see that there's 5 here. The marbles can be red or yellow. Describe the marbles that might be in Jessica's bag. So I'm going to, before we use our crayons, I'm going to show you. I have these counters that are yellow on one side and red on the other. So if she has 5 marbles, she could have 5 red marbles, or she could have 1, 2, 3, 4 red marbles and 1 yellow, or she could have 1, 2, 3 red and 1, 2 yellow. And you see each time I'm just flipping over one and it changes the pairs and the amount that we have. So now we have 1, 2, 3 yellow and 1, 2 reds. Now I'm going to move my counters and use my crayon to color in 1 counter and 2 counters and then you can use your other crayon to color the other ones to show that this is one way to make 5 out of your counters. If you want, you can choose different colors for them. You could have had 3 red, 1, 2, 3, 2 yellow. That's up to you. If you're still working on that, you can pause it and unpause when you're ready to move on. For this page, look at the counters in the 5 frame. You're going to trace the numbers to show the pair that makes 5. So you can use your crayons to trace. I like to color coordinate mine so the red is next to the red and the yellow is next to the yellow. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Count with me. Put your finger right on this one and count with me. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 red counters. So we're going to trace our 4. Down and over, down once more. That's the way to make a 4. It's okay if your red is like an orangish red or a pinkish red. That's okay. And then we have to write on the line how many yellows we have. How many yellows do we have in our 5 frame? Just 1. So we're going to trace our 1. Remember, our 1 is pull down once and then you're done. That's the way to make a 1. This now, once we're done with the top part, it says 4 red counters and 1 yellow counter. That's how you read that. For number 2, we are going to draw our counters to show a different way to make 5. So this was one way to make 5. We have to show another way. I'm going to show you the opposite. So instead of having 4 reds and 1 yellow, I'm going to do 4 yellows and 1 red. I'm sorry if you can't see the yellow very well on the video, but they are there. And then we have to fill out our numbers. So, how many reds? 1 red. And how many yellows? 1, 2, 3, 4. and over, down once more. When you're done with that page, flip it to the, oh, you know what? I did something silly. That's okay to do it this way, but the best way is to have the colors match what order they're in. We always start with red. Silly me, I started with my yellow. So what it should have looked like is the 1 red should have been over here and the 4 yellows. I apologize. See, sometimes teachers make mistakes too. What I'm going to do is, you don't have to fix it, but I'm going to fix mine. And I'm going to have my 1 red on this side, and then I'm going to go over this red with my yellow to make sure I know that that's supposed to be a yellow. So the next page, because the red's first, we have to start with the red. We're going to do our counters again and show a different way to make 5, another way. But we can't use 4 or 1 because we've already used those on that page. So I would normally have you guys help me. So try to think of another way to make 5. What's another number? Think about that for a second. We could do 1, 2 reds, and then 3 yellows to make 5. Or we could do 1, 2, 3 reds and 2 yellows. These are all different ways to make 5. Don't forget to go back and write your numbers on the line. Now that you are doing it on your own, you can choose whether you're drawing it with a pencil or crayon on these pages. So I'm going to do my 2, make a candy cane and give it a shoe. Do my 3, round the tree, round the tree. My 1, 2, 3 for my red, around the tree, and my 1, 2 for yellows. Once you're done with this, make sure you go back and read it. So we know that 2 reds and 3 yellows make 5. 3 red and 2 yellow make 5. Even if you switch the numbers, it still makes 5. Next, we're going to go to this page. Austin has 5 counters. 1 counter is red. How many yellow counters does he have? Color the counters. So I'm going to read that again. Austin has 5 counters. It shows his 5 counters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Austin has 5 counters. 1 counter is red. So let's color one of them red because they've already told us 1 counter is red. And it shows down here too, 1 red. So we have to make it match. How many counters does he have? Yellow counters does he have? So we have to count how many there are and write it on the line. So let's grab your yellow crayon and color and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to write 4 there because there's 4 yellows. Down and over, down once more. For number 6, Madison has 5 red and blue cubes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. The picture matches the words. Madison has 5 red and blue cubes. Color to show the cubes. Write the part of numbers that makes up Madison's cube. So we get to choose. It's not telling us how many there are. Up here it told us that there was 1 red, so we did not get to choose that, but we get to choose. Now you're going to need a blue crayon. Oops. So how many do you want to do blue? Let's do something different than above. Let's do 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to stop at 3 today. And because I colored 3, I have to write 3 down here because my picture has to match the word problem. 1, 2, 3. Around the tree, and then it tells me how many are left. So I know that I can only color these and I can't keep adding more because we only need 5 altogether. So when we color our last ones in and then count how many, 1, 2, we have to write that next to the red because the blue goes by the blue and the red goes by the red. 1, 2. Make a candy cane and give it a shoe. And then we can read it. 3 blue blocks and 2 red blocks. That makes 5. When you're done, find this page. You're going to color the counters to show a way to make 5. And then down here you're going to show counters, color your counters again, and write the numbers to show a pair that makes 5. Try to do 2 different ones, please. And then on the back, number 1, how many more counters would you place in the 5 frames to show a way to make 5? So this you're going to really have to use your noggin for. It shows you that there's 2 here. There's 2 of this color, and you have to show how many more you need to put into the 5 frame to make 5, and then write it on the line. For 2 and 3, both of these, you're just going to count the objects and write it in the line. Send a picture of this last page for me, the lesson check and spiral review, please.